Beastars is about a grey wolf named Legoshi who struggles to pretend that he's weak and timid, which really annoys a deer who already hates everyone. There's also some weird stuff with a rabbit, just push through it. It opens with a wolf attacking a rabbit. Then it cuts to this alpaca named Tem running down a hallway. He locks himself into this auditorium and someone bursts through the door and causes him to fall down the stairs. The animation of this scene is really cool. He starts talking about how they're classmates, if he's really gonna eat him, and how carnivores are just monsters. Yeah, this dude doesn't care. Geez, they just jumped right into the whole animals eat each other in this world thing, didn't they? The next day, these students are talking to a goat named Else about what happened, and say that she needs to be careful because there's a wolf in the drama club that her and Tem are part of. So at the club, everyone's talking about what happened, and there's this ominous shot of Legoshi like maybe he did it because this silhouette completely looks like a wolf. So the club president walks in, and everyone is just standing on opposite ends of the room yelling at each other. That night, Elsa's talking crap about how she thinks Legoshi is gonna eat her next. Why is she only worried about Legoshi but no one else? And after her friends leave, Legoshi just starts slowly walking up to her like a creeper. You know what? Maybe she has a point. So she threatens him with a pair of scissors, but he just grabs them away like it was nothing, and it turns out that he was just wanting to give her a love letter that Tem wrote to her. So Else tries to apologize for talking crap about him, but Legoshi is just like, oh, it's fine, everyone hates me anyway. Well, that's depressing. The next day, Legoshi is at a memorial for Tem, and in comes Louis the deer.
You're staring.
Oh, sorry.
Is rudeness something that's inherent in wolves?
Great. The first thing that comes out of his mouth is racist, just to make sure you know that he's an asshole. And he needs Legoshi to do something for him. It then introduces Haru and her bullies. First they throw books at her, which doesn't seem too bad, but then they throw a freaking mattress at her. What the hell?
This is ridiculous.
Seriously, does this school just not do anything about this? That evening she's eating alone and the three bullies walk up to her. And after a conversation that doesn't really matter, this one pushes her off the curb and then throws water on her. I'm starting to think this school just sucks. Back at the club, Louis mentions that Zoe the goat is Tem's replacement for his part in the play. And he gets upset and overreacts to him not learning his lines yet, and I guess he ate the script or something. Still, an overreaction because Louis is a complete asshole. Then Kai bursts in and gets all pissed that he didn't get Tem's part, and Louis tells him that he's gonna get kicked out of the acting crew and be part of the art department instead, because I guess Louis has that authority even though he's not the president. So Kai gets even more pissed and tries to punch him, but Legoshi stops him. Should've just let him do it. It's only been 10 minutes and I already hate Louis. Anyway, after Kai angrily leaves, Louis says that he's impressed by what Legoshi did and offers to let him be the lookout while him and Zoe sneak into the auditorium that night to rehearse, and makes some joke about letting Legoshi eat one of his legs if he does. This is the same day that a member of their club got murdered and eaten, but screw it, yeah, let's sneak out. That night, Legoshi is standing guard and Haru just so happens to walk by. Legoshi notices and there's this really cool animation of the scent going into his nose that almost looks like an x-ray. I really like the animation of this show. So he just loses it and attacks her. I think we all know where this is going, so let's just skip to the end. Oops, too far. So he's sitting there contemplating what to do and talking with this shadow thing. He decides he's just gonna eat her, but Zoe interrupts him by yelling for help. Turns out Louis got hurt by trying to save him from falling off the stage. It then takes a moment to explain that eating meat is illegal in this world. I'm sure that won't cause problems later. At the cafeteria, these two get into a fight, and Legoshi starts thinking about almost eating Haru and gets all mad and yells at them to stop. So this guy now wants to fight Legoshi even though he's like half his size. So Legoshi starts thinking of a way to purposely lose the fight, but Louis comes in and saves him. They then start talking about some Beastar title that is used to unite the different species and bring unity to the world or something. Well, it seems like whoever that is currently is doing a crap job of it. Later at the club, it shows how messed up Louis' ankle really is. That thing is broke. Legoshi needs to go to the gardening club to pick up flowers, and Kibi goes with him. And guess who's gonna be there? So Legoshi is freaking out that Haru's there and is trying to think of a reason to leave, but Kibi finds a reason first and then just leaves Legoshi there. Him and Haru are having a conversation, and this moron decides to start asking about what happened to her arm as if he already doesn't know.
I forget what happened.
What a liar. So Legoshi decides it's a good idea to hang out in this cabin with her, and he's trying to think of something to say, and then Haru just makes it extremely weird. Push through it. It then cuts to these three talking about Haru and how she sleeps with guys and then just leaves them and never talks to him again. So this little rabbit has found a way to be a predator. Great. It then cuts back to the cabin and Haru making sure people stop watching this. Seriously, I know 3 people, including myself, who stopped watching at this exact point. Just push through it. Anyway, Legoshi puts a stop to it, has a panic attack, and then leaves.
I'm gonna go. Have a good day.
I love how his voice just sounds so panicked at this part. But back at the club, Legoshi and Kai have this conversation about how each member has something special about them.
Let's take Sheila from the dance team. At age 14, that cheetah...
She's a leopard, not a cheetah. Leopards have spots on their face, while cheetahs do not and have lines on the side of their face. Also, she has leopard spots. Get this right, come on. Anyway, this giraffe is afraid of spots, and this rhino thinks that his horn is the guardian angel or something. And it shows Louis, but doesn't say what his special thing is. I'm assuming his thing is that he's a super special asshole. Then Kai asks Legoshi what his secret is, but they just blow right past it. The next day, Legoshi and Louis are talking about lighting and stuff, and Louis gets all pissed about Legoshi's body language, so he shoves him against the wall, grabs his neck, and starts yelling at him. I hate this character so much. Then he shoves his hand in his mouth and tells Legoshi to bite him, because he's a do I even need to say it? Legoshi should have just bit him. But Legoshi pulls away and starts lecturing him about different types of strength and how Legoshi's strength is more of a burden, where Louis' strength is more of an advantage. By the way, there's some nature room things, it's not that important, but the show shows it, so here you go. And Legoshi is thinking about what happened between him and Haru and realizes that this is the first time in a long time that he's actually felt happy. Well, that's quite depressing. Before the start of the play, Louis is giving everyone a pep talk, but is secretly thinking about how everyone else sucks and he's the only one who's worth anything. Okay, here's my question. I get that the skull clips together over his head, but how did they get this hat over his antlers like this? And after the play, he passes out. He wakes up in the hospital and Bill tells him that his left leg is broken. Then Louis gets annoyed that everyone is pitying him, so he interrupts them and tells Bill that he's going to replace him in the play. And he gets way too happy about it. So he's all excited, but Legoshi is upset because he's being forced to play Bill's old part. There's no way this is going to go wrong. They're rehearsing and Bill starts going full force and just kinda takes it too far. I'm starting to think he might be a crazy person. Louis goes to talk to Bill before the play, and I can't tell if he helps him or just makes him more nervous. They then talk about how Louis hates Legoshi for pretending to be weak when he's obviously not, and how Bill is the exact opposite.
Unlike him, I've got the makings of a true carnivore.
What the hell does that mean? So Bill's walking into the backstage area, and Legoshi takes notice and just starts sniffing on him. So Bill's like, I gotta go to the bathroom now, and runs off. So Legoshi follows him, and it turns out that Bill has a vial of rabbit blood that he's going to drink in order to get amped up. So I'm gonna guess that blood and meat are kind of like drugs to carnivores then? Legoshi is not cool with it, so he flips out again and basically attacks him. But they end up just arguing, so I'm sure that's the end of that. So they're doing the play, and Legoshi just runs out and decks Bill in the face. I don't think this is part of the play anymore. Then he just starts wailing on Bill.
Stop them, now!
Well, they screwed up her movement, but more on that later. So Bill finally stops Legoshi by grabbing his hands, and then he puts him in a hug and just scratches the absolute crap out of his back. So Legoshi falls down, and I'm pretty sure Bill's literally going to kill him because he's a freaking crazy person. But Louis comes in and saves him. This is gonna be a theme, isn't it? Anyway, Bill runs off stage and Louis helps Legoshi up. At least he did one thing that was kind of nice. Everyone is talking about how great the play was the previous night, so Legoshi is hiding in a pool and Jack starts joking around about it. It cuts back to the night before and Louis is yelling at Bill and Legoshi for what they did. And some student reporters randomly show up, so they make up some story about how this whole thing was planned. Back at the pool, Legoshi starts talking about trying to hide some secret and trying to deal with his depression all by himself. Then he says freaking out on Bill actually kind of felt good. He's gonna turn to a psycho, isn't he? Anyway, they're walking back to class and Jack is trying to figure out why Legoshi has been acting so weird, so he guesses that Legoshi is in love and gets way too excited about it. This character is awesome. Well, it turns out Louis and Haru are dating or something. It's high school drama crap, I don't care. There's some meteor festival thing that the drama club is gonna make a sculpture for. So this is right after the play, right?
It's been a month since that incident.
Holy crap, it's been a month? This show just skips time ahead without really saying it. I think this is the first time they've actually mentioned any kind of time skip. Well, Haru's carrying a plant, so guess who's gonna show up? The 3 bullies that this school apparently does nothing about. So she starts telling them off and basically saying that she hopes they die, and Legoshi walks up behind her, so they run off. So as thanks, Haru invites him to go eat with her. So while they're eating, he starts having a panic attack and thinking about how much he sucks at talking to people, and Haru is thinking about how she internally wants to run but is acting calm. I really like the animation of this scene. Later on, there's a news story about how a group of canines ate a gazelle. So because of this, these two are being dicks to this girl. So Legoshi steps in the most awkward way possible.
Excuse me? I'm her older brother. Is there a problem here?
I can't believe this actually worked. This introduces Juno, who is also part of the drama club, and that's really the only reason for this scene. Later at the club, Sanyu says that only a small group is allowed to go to the cities because of the recent news.
Do not even think about going to the black market.
I wonder what that is, and I'm sure they're gonna listen to that. These four go to the city hall to get details about the Meteor Festival, and Legoshi notices that it seems like everyone is getting along, so he starts to think that maybe life will get easier when he gets out of school and into the real world, because that's how that works. Well, they get lost on the way back, so Legoshi tries to ask this old goat for directions, and what the hell? Welp, they ran into the black market. He starts talking about the prices for Legoshi to eat one of his fingers, so Legoshi is freaking out, and Bill just shoves him out of the way. At first I thought Bill was being a good friend and trying to stop Legoshi, but nope.
It's 70,000 for that finger, right? If I pay for it, that means it's mine to eat?
Because I almost forgot that Bill's a crazy person. They get into an argument about whether or not to do it, and everyone is taking Bill's side, so Legoshi starts thinking about why everyone was getting along in the city, gets upset, and runs off. So he goes into a massive panic attack, passes out in the alley, and this guy finds him. So he wakes up chained to a pole in a basement.
Am I gonna die here?
Yeah. This panda takes off the muzzle, and Legoshi immediately starts yelling, and that seemed a little harsh. He then starts asking questions about who Legoshi ate and what happened, and Legoshi tells him he hasn't eaten anyone and explains what's been going on between him and Haru. He then starts showing a bunch of pictures of carnivores who ate other animals and got addicted to meat. Yep, meat is like a drug in this world. They then go to a nicer area of the hospital, and Going, by the way his name is Going, explains that he's a therapist for meat addicts. Legoshi starts insisting that he's not a patient, and they argue about whether he's truly in love with Haru or if he secretly just wants to eat her. And as Legoshi is leaving, he gives him a bunny porn magazine. Apparently it's to help figure out if he's really just hunting her or something, I don't even know. He then goes back to the train station and Aba is waiting for him. Turns out he couldn't eat the goat's finger either because he realized that Legoshi was kind of right. Well, at least one person's a good friend. The other two are dicks. It then goes over how Haru and Louie met. A couple years before, he was at the gardening club and his antlers fell out, so Haru hid him in a shed until he was able to get a pair of fake ones made, because I guess that's a big deal to him. And apparently he's arranged to be married, so he's just stringing Haru along so he can't even be nice to her or his fiancée. What an asshole. He's about to leave, and then Legoshi just randomly shows up, so there's this scene of them trying to figure out why each other is there. And then they leave together. While they're walking, they talk about why each other was there, but never actually tell each other. Then Louie tells Legoshi to stay within his own species because it's been a while since he's acted like a racist asshole. We're almost done with this high school drama crap, I promise. Then there's a scene of Legoshi and Juno practicing dance choreography, and Juno is trying to get Legoshi to like her, but he just starts talking about stuff he learned in class. Meanwhile, Jack's in the dorm room and acting all worried about Legoshi, and Legoshi walks in, so Jack turns around real quick, acts all nervous, and starts thinking about him going down a dark path. All because he found the rabbit magazine that Going gave him. Legoshi is sitting in his bed, and Jack starts nervously telling him that they are friends and that he will accept anything he likes.
I promise I'll never be suspicious or be disgusted by anything you do. You like what you like. It doesn't matter. Insects, rabbits.
And Legoshi just freaks out and tackles him. He then confesses everything that he's been going through to Jack. This is honestly one of the funniest scenes in this show. The next day, or maybe later, this show in time, I don't know. Legoshi is helping with the statue at the festival and runs into Haru, but he just kind of blows her off. He then sees Louie talking with Haru and realizes that he really is in love with her. So in response, he breaks several tubes of paint and smears it all over his face, because that doesn't make him look crazy at all. So now he's all depressed again. Then the mayor shows up, yeah, this is a great baseline for what a lion looks like, and tells Haru to go back to school before it gets dark out. And Legoshi offers to go back with her.
Because it's extremely dangerous out there, you know?
Yeah, that's not creepy at all. Well, they missed the train, so now they're gonna sit and talk about what happened the first day they met. And Haru gets upset about Legoshi not being able to understand how she feels about life or something and tries to leave. But Legoshi grabs her arm and all these people show up, seriously, where did these people come from, and start freaking out. So Haru grabs him and they run away because I guess carnivores can be arrested just for arguing with a herbivore because that's not a bullshit law at all. They hide in the bathroom and after the guard leaves, Legoshi asks the worst question he possibly can.
Haru, even at this moment, do you feel like you're close to dying?
What the hell, dude? Later, Haru tells him that she was almost eaten once but didn't see who it was.
I said I didn't remember how it happened, but that was a lie.
See, I told you. And Legoshi thinks about confessing that it was him, but decides now is not the time.
Smile. Come on.
No.
What was up with this guy falling? It's just such a random thing to put in there. Anyway, then Bill accidentally scratches Louis with these weird images. He probably deserved it.
I heard Bill got you. I hope it doesn't leave a scar.
What was that? Whatever, Louis yelling at everyone again, and then Juno comes in and motivates everyone in a positive way, and Louis gets all mad about it. At this point, you know why. After the club meeting, Louis and Juno are practicing some more, and during this, Juno tackles him and calls him out for being a racist piece of crap, and that she wants to be the next Beastar instead of him. I'm really impressed with the detail they put in the mirror animation here, but Louis tells her he can easily prevent that and leaves. Wasn't there a dead alpaca or something? Anyway, at the festival, Juno is trying to get Legoshi to like her again, but he just doesn't really notice. As everyone is leaving, all the lights go out. So they form a protective circle around the herbivores, and Legoshi remembers that Haru is there, so he goes off to find her. And once he finds her...
Louis, you came for me.
Really? The lights come on and Haru realizes how dumb of a thought that was, and Juno finds out what Louis meant about Legoshi. Louis is having a nightmare about a dungeon and the number 4. He talks about how that number scarred him, and he turns out he has it branded onto his foot. This because when he was a child, he was a product item in an area of the black market where they sold children as cattle, and 4 was his product ID number. And even though he was 5 years old, he didn't even know how to speak. That's really messed up. One day, an adult deer came in and bought him. He takes him up an elevator and throws him into a room full of carnivores and just gives him a knife to defend himself. What the actual hell? But instead of defending himself, he decides he's better off killing himself instead, so the adult pulls him back into the elevator. What is this guy's deal?
I am Ogma, the Horns Group president.
First off, I'm pretty sure his name is pronounced Ogma. Second, it's the Horns conglomerate, not the Horns Group. How hard is that to get right? Anyway...
I wasn't blessed with children, but from here on out, you will live as my biological son.
I mean, that's sad and all, but it doesn't excuse him from being a racist asshole. They then remember that Tem existed, and Louis swears to change the world so that he didn't die in vain. So Legoshi is walking down the hallway, sees Louis, and hides. How did he get in there? This leopard tries to attack Louis, but Legoshi stops him. I guess a bunch of carnivores are trying to kill him in order to prevent him from becoming the next Beastar. I don't really care about that, I just want them to succeed so this terrible character will be gone. So Legoshi decides he's going to give up on Haru and focus all his attention on protecting Louis because Louis's been so nice to him so far. At the festival area, Legoshi tries to confess to Haru that he loves her, but she just makes up excuses to interrupt him.
Are you ignoring me on purpose?
What was your first clue? They then agree to meet the next day at the festival to talk about it. Haru is alone and thinking about what her and Legoshi talked about, and someone grabs her and runs off, but at least they left a shoe. Now they get it right. Anyway, these three find Haru's shoe and a black card and report it to this guy. I guess this card belongs to a gang called the Shishigumi, and then the mayor comes in and says that he's gonna take care of it. But instead he decides screw it and rips up the card. And Legoshi overhears these three talking about it. I guess the Shishigumi is a gang of lions and they kidnap herbivores in order to feed them to their boss. So no one expects the lion mayor might be a part of this somehow? No? Okay. These three are trying to restrain Haru and in comes their boss who looks like crap. I seriously hate his character design. He then takes her to his room, and this creep starts talking to her about school and stuff, and then makes her take off all her clothes. Back at the festival, the mayor is telling Louis what happened, and that they're gonna have to keep it a secret in order to protect the public from panicking or something. He then starts monologuing about how he spent a bunch of money on plastic surgery and had his fangs removed to help himself appear more friendly in order to become the mayor. And that he will erase Louis' black market file if he agrees to keep what happened a secret. And he sort of agrees, but he was still kind of forced to. As Louis is leaving the tent, Legoshi finds him and tries to convince him to help him save Haru. But Louis just says it happens all the time and starts walking away. So they get into an argument and Legoshi gets super pissed and just decks him. Finally, someone had to do it. They then get into a fight, and after it's broken up and they're separated, Legoshi says that if Louis is just going to focus on becoming the Beastar and not save Haru, then he will. He goes off and follows Haru's scent to the black market, and he starts asking around about the Sitsugumi, but everyone just acts all nervous and ignores him. Until he finally finds these two who agree to take him there. So these nice gentlemen take him to an alleyway and rob him, but Going rescues him.
Panda! I told you it's Gohi, not Panda.
I feel like that's disrespectful, but yet it's kind of funny. Legoshi explains what he's doing and Going tries to talk him out of it, but he goes anyway. And then immediately gets caught. This guy talks way too long instead of just shooting him like a good villain, which gives Legoshi time to figure out that he was one of the guys who kidnapped Haru, so he attacks him and shoots his ear off. Yep, he's turning into a psycho. But he still sucks at fighting, so Going comes in and kills this guy and decides to help Legoshi rescue Haru. So they rush in and start fighting all these lions as they work their way up the building. It's pretty awesome, but there's no way they would ever make it. But apparently Haru's scent gives him strength or something, I don't know. Meanwhile, Haru is reflecting on her terrible life choices and thinking about what she learned growing up.
If anything happens, you'll be the first to die.
Well, that's some blunt honesty, but apparently it's not wrong. She then starts thinking about Louis, but finds herself thinking about Legoshi instead. I guess the boss is being a creep because having her humiliated makes her taste better or something. But Haru says that she's content, and then she just kicks the cane out from under him and starts telling him off. Seriously, what is wrong with his character design? Anyway, he's about to eat her when Legoshi bursts in.
You're an idiot!
She's right about that. Meanwhile, back at the school, Kibby and Dom go to Legoshi's dorm looking for him, and Jack notices that Legoshi's pet beetle died.
This is a bad omen.
What gave you that idea? They're fighting while Legoshi thinks about everyone figuring out why they were born what they are, and then he bites the crap out of this guy's neck. Yep, he's a full-on psycho. Then him and Haru leave together. Wait, did Going just leave without checking if they were okay? Well, this guy's still alive and he's about to shoot Legoshi, but Louis comes in and saves him. Yep, this is the theme of this show. But there's no way he's going Oh. On the plus side, I won't ever have to look at this terrible character design again, so I guess he did something kind of nice. And these two run in, so now he's going to die. Or at least I can hope. Legoshi and Haru go to the market to get something to eat, but wasn't Legoshi robbed earlier?
You even hide emergency funds in your shoe.
Yeah. When I was still little, my grandpa said to do that.
Oh, okay. That's pretty smart. The last train that goes back to the school is gone, so now they have to find a hotel. You see where this is going? Then there's a scene where he confesses to her that he was the one who almost ate her the night he met her. Yeah, this part gets kind of weird, but nothing really happens, so just push through it. The next day, they get back to school, and Legoshi is getting yelled at for spending the night outside of school, but screw the whole Shishigumi thing, I guess. Juno comes in to check on him, and there's more of him rejecting her. Then Haru shows up, but tries to leave when she sees Juno, and Juno chases her down the hallway. Great, now Juno's gonna eat her.
I don't need to cheapen myself.
Well, I guess not. That night at the Meteor Festival, Legoshi and Haru are trying to have a nice moment, but Juno ruins it by announcing to everyone what he did and forcing him to go on stage with her. After talking about how carnivores only want to use their strength to protect herbivores, which is a bunch of crap, she then drags him to some fire lighting ceremony. This gets Haru upset, so she leaves, but Legoshi ditches Juno and goes after her, and he tells her that he loves her. Isn't that nice? I don't care. It then shows everyone packing up stuff at the school and getting ready for summer break, and then it kind of blows right past it.
Hey, Legoshi, how was your summer?
I didn't get to eat any watermelon.
What?
Seriously, what? And oh no, Louis is missing. Please God, let it be forever. And we get the season 2 teaser. So I guess next season we get to find out who killed Tem. Bill. It was Bill. The first season of this is great. I actually didn't know it was an anime based on a manga until I started watching it. It does a fantastic job setting up the world and characters and showing the conflict between carnivores and herbivores. I mean, it just opens with, by the way, sometimes carnivores eat herbivores, and apparently no one really cares since there's no investigation or anything. It's not shown as a positive thing, but it just comes off as just, oh, this is something that happens sometimes. The plot so far is mostly high school drama, but it does take place in high school and they have to establish the characters somehow. The middle of the season is pretty slow, with all the exposition and high school drama. I'm not saying that's a bad thing because it's needed to make future events important. I do think the 6th episode is the best, because it shows the outside world for the first time and what kind of problems exist there. I feel sympathetic towards Legoshi with how he sounds so depressed and withdrawn to the point to where he loses control and almost kills someone, and that he keeps getting thrown into situations that he doesn't want to be in. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, with both dealing with someone who killed a student in the school and seeing what life is really like outside the confines of a school campus later on. I watched it in English, so I can't really say for the Japanese version, but the voice acting in the English version is quite good. Jonah Scott is great as Legoshi. He actually sounds like he's depressed and is just trying to cope with the world. He's also great at sounding panicked and nervous at the cabin scene and makes it kind of hilarious. Griffin Pato does a good job as Louis. He sounds like an arrogant rich kid, but yet sounds like there's something else to the character. I was really impressed with Kyle Carley's voice as Tem. He may be in just a couple scenes, but he's really good in them. He actually sounds frightened but yet almost caring when trying to talk his attacker down, and then angry at the end of the opening scene. Lauren Londa does a good job as Juno. She has this sweet sounding voice that's kind of annoying at first, but I got used to it. She uses it to get people to like her and at times feel sorry for her, but yet she can have that voice and add a sense of malice when confronting Louis about how he treats carnivores. I like the way Ben Diskin voices Jack. He sounds so innocent, the way a Labrador probably would sound if it could talk. He has this naive excitement to his voice even when talking about a serious topic or when he's concerned about something. Keith Silverstein is great as Going. He has kind of a rough voice with a sense of caring, but yet he can make it fully aggressive when angry or trying to prove a point. Kyle Herbert, who also voices Sanyu, does alright as a Shishigumi boss. He has a good voice for sounding like a mob boss, but it almost sounds like he's trying to make it more of a monologue than actually talking to a person. The animation and music are amazing. The animators really paid attention to the movement of each character and made them seem unique. The opening scene with Tem is what really caught my eye, with the all-black scene and the blue outline of the character and his blood being the only color in it. The animation style changes at certain points, and I think it works for the most part and looks really cool. Like when it switches to a very cartoony style when Legoshi is eating with Haru and thinking about how he hasn't made any progress with her, and then it switches to a void with Haru and her instincts telling her to run, and how it completely changes when the old goat is offering Legoshi his fingers, which almost gives a horror vibe. The music and sound effects sound great also, and really help sell the scenes. The art style and character designs are great. They look like the animals that they're supposed to be without looking creepy or going into the uncanny valley. I particularly like the character designs of Louis and Legoshi, but they are the main characters, so I hope they wouldn't screw that up. The character designs of the lions are hit and miss too. I think it's because they screwed up the baseline for what a lion looks like by having the first main one shown be the mayor, who had plastic surgery and his fangs removed. They should have shown something with the Shishigumi first, like maybe these three planning the kidnapping. I also find it odd that their solution for the temples of the glasses is to just not have them, which makes me kind of wonder how they stay on the animal's face. The boss's character design just bothers me though. I think it's because of the white patches around his eyes and that his mane looks more like regular hair than a lion's mane. At least I never have to look at him again, so that kind of worked out. Hopefully next season we'll show more of the outside world and less parts you have to push through. Don't forget to do the YouTube stuff, and thanks for watching.